What's clapping, everybody? Welcome to Anime Intervention. I am your host, BMG, here with my co host, Clean Beam. We're back for another episode, and this one here today is about anime, of course, but even better, we have taken the time to create starter packs for different genres. And the reason why we do this is because there are friends that we have, and there are other people as well, that ask us, hey, I'm interested in this. What should I watch if I'm getting into anime? And we have a list right here that is perfect, perfect, absolutely crisp, pristine, perfect to give to you and help you out with that process. What do you think?
100%. I do think it's a process that everyone has definitely went through, especially as like an anime fan. Like the moment that you start to introduce it to your friends, you're trying to think of, okay, well, what are they into? Are they into fantasy? Are they into some drama, some romance, some like action packed? Like, what do we need to fuel that person's interest?
Yeah, the drive to get that anime. Yeah.
And I kind of find it funny that at the same time, whenever we try to recommend something, they end up finding something completely out of our recommendation zone anyway, regardless. And then
Well,
they come back to what we
yeah,
recommend.
exactly. I think that's like if they were to those people that they're so interested, they jump right into it. Yeah, but it's more so than that. They don't even care what people tell them. Once they see something that they do like that like pops up on their feed, they're like, "All right, let me jump on that." And it's like, "Well, what about my recommendation?" But no, I get it. I get it. I understand that. But yeah, like this is the reason why I even have like a personal list I made for myself, just in general. Like if somebody's into a specific genre, I might as well just pass them this list, um, and we'll see what they say. You know what I mean? It might be easier that way. But let me ask you this, and this is a question simply dealing with the fact that we have to give these anime to people. What makes a good starter anime? Like what makes a good anime that you could give to somebody who has never watched an anime? And even before the genres, just in general, like what would you say would be good for a starter?
I mean, it has to have a quick impact,
Mm,
being able to
hmm.
grasp the attention of a lot of people. Like you have to be able to be unique, impactful, and somehow relate to the person in some way, shape, or form. I feel like those three factors can definitely determine whether or not someone's going to gravitate towards it. Because I know there's a lot of people that, for example, absolutely loved. I'm just gonna use an example, but Orange High School,
Hmm.
the
Host
Host
Club.
Club.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, that anime was a pillar, and actually, I think it's like the 20th anniversary of that anime now.
Yeah, I think you're right.
A lot of people love that anime
Of course.
to death. Like, and it definitely has a a big good building block or foundation for the upbringing of a lot of people. So if you can get a show to be that foundation for another person, like whether it's, oh, this helped me learn about relationships or help me learn about being able to deal with failure or growth or something like that, where you have a positive message that will impact a person to keep on looking for those types of anime.
Hmm.
That's a good starter pack for sure.
No, I agree with you. I think another thing that we could add on to the list is the depth and maybe even the animation style, because you know, I mean, you could argue, hey, the oldies are definitely worth visiting, but there are some people who they don't really enjoy or they don't really like checking out these anime that have sort of an older animation style because they want something a little bit more um, concurrent, unique, where the animation style feels as if it is coming out today, kind of thing. Obviously, Demon Slayer kind of takes the cake with that, but like specifically speaking about like if you wanted to pass somebody over, hey, you could watch Samurai Champloo or you could watch Cowboy Bebop. Like when you put those into the category, it's like okay, I see where somebody who maybe not is not as much into that animation style, they might not enjoy it as much. Personally, for me, I don't really think animation style is the cream of the crop. We had this conversation before on other episodes, but like that's not, especially if I'm giving a starter anime to somebody, I don't really care too much about the animation style, but I do think that that is like part of a starter pack like recommendation or requirement recommendation. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
Hmm.
this thing looks good and the style is very unique, and who knows, it might even be very not even like inconsistent with the studio, but the studio like did it specifically for this one. okay, let's give it to this person. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think I mean, if there's one more thing I'd say, it'd probably be the characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they got to be lovable characters that somehow either they pop on the screen and all of a sudden you're just like, wait a minute, yeah, I kind of like you. Like I want you to pop up a little more, or like whether it's unique hairstyles or just how the person is, their morals, or maybe a gimmick that happens between them. Like sure,
Hmm.
something that you gravitate towards once again. Um, but those characters have to be to a T. Like they have
Yeah,
to be not perfection, not perfection. I'm talking about to a T as to what they are, what they represent. Like Zoro in One Piece. I think he's the embodiment of like
oh, 100%.
hard work and consistently just trying to get better, improvement.
Oh, 100%.
So if once you have those type of characters that embody those type of traits, I feel like that's also another plus one, you know.
Oh, absolutely. And but I'm gonna go ahead and take it take it right away right now with the first genre that we got. Um Shonen. Shonen tends to be the pillar of most anime that people watch in general because I mean, well, we could say this now. Well, shonen means young man, but like anime, shonen anime is specifically for young men. I'm not saying it's only for them. Okay, listen, we know you girls and everybody. I don't care what gender you are out there likes shonen anime. Don't even start. But it's called shonen anime for a reason, and it's because it tends to resonate with young men. Because of the fact that they're usually following an up and coming young man who is aspiring to reach a goal, right? So when it's when it's a goal that you see there that they're chasing and it's an amazing goal and it makes you feel great when they actually finally achieve it or as they're going to achieve it, it kind of gives you, me as a young man, it gives me the motivation to chase after my goals. You know what I mean? Like I feel like shonen anime tend to be the I'm not going to say the requirement for when you enter anime space because it's really not, but it comes across your feed. If you're into the anime space, you're gonna watch at least one shonen anime. There's no way you don't watch at least one.
That is true. There's a plethora of shonen anime or plethora of anime that fall under the branches of shonen. So it's almost as if like at one point you're gonna
You're
go
gonna hit it.
through it and it's like, oh, okay, not bad, not too bad. Or maybe someone might recommend it to you, or you might just find it like off of a clip that happens to pop off online. And that's the thing. Shonen is one of those anime genres where you're able to find a clip and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, now I'm kind of intrigued.
What's this?
Well, hands,
What are we looking at
uh,
here? Hands?
fights, fights that are destroying the ground and making blocks,
Yo, facts.
stuff like that.
Which is why I have my listen anime starter packs for shonen genre. Okay, number one, solo leveling. The reason why I had to put this on the list is because solo leveling took the world by storm. Not only that, but it does follow a character who you see grows. I mean, he grows exponentially, and obviously he's overpowered, but he grows, and you get to see that growth, and that sort of responds and resonates with you as a person. It may not have the legendary story beats that say Freerun does, but solo leveling, it definitely hits and checks a lot of boxes when the shonen category. And number two, Code Geass. The
Mm,
reason why I put Code Geass on the list is simply because of the fact that it is one of the most brilliantly written shows. I mean, you could say it's the same about Death Note, but like brilliantly written shows, right? Where the main character struck he exceeds, but he also struggles because he's a manipulator. He could basically move pieces on the chessboard just like that. But the fact that he basically just like controls the world almost. At one point he doesn't, but he works his way up and eventually does. It's crazy. It to me, superb story. It's definitely worth it, especially for shonen. Number three, and this is pinnacle here. Number three is Full Metal Alchemist.
yes,
It has to be said.
yes.
It has to be said because Full Metal Alchemist to this day, and you could ask a lot of different people this, but people will say FMA is probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest anime of all time. There are people argue me in the comments if you want, but there are people who say that because of the characters, are really really well written. The arcs that the characters have, they are gradual and they build up and then they also decrease and then they go back up and they're perfectly written character arcs, right? The story, the plot, the way it is paced throughout the entirety of the show, beautiful. So Full Metal Alchemist, if you are interested in shonen, and well, not interested, but if you want to see a shonen anime for a start, I say watch FMA first. You know what I'm
Shoot,
saying?
yeah.
And if you want something really quick though, Solo Leveling first. But FMA, that's the one I would give them.
I would 100% give them. If I were to like I know it's a banger, I know it's a heavy hitter, but like if I wanted to get you into the genre, I'm gonna give you that right then and there because it has definitely resonated with a lot of young men and definitely with a lot of young women too because of the fact that they're actually well written characters like Winry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I just I find it funny how every single time there's people that crap on shonen or people that watch shonen all the time. And I'm just looking at it, I'm like, okay, yes, if they only watch shonen, but at the same time, what if they find these gems? What if they're looking at the ones that are good and
It's
have made an impact?
yeah. I mean, you look at it, you're like the ones that are really good and made an impact. The majority of them are shonen. You're like, oh, what
Oh,
does this mean?
what does this mean? It's like obviously shonen has its faults here and there, but
Oh,
don't
definitely.
act like it hasn't done anything positive for sure. Full Metal Alchemist has definitely taught people about your loss of innocence and being exposed to the dangers of the world along with death, how to deal with death, how to be very determined, how to step outside of just yourself and your worldview and looking at other people and other perspectives and literally processing and having the gravity of of situations that you place yourself into
Yeah.
because you start to see that development within the main character within Edward Elric and even Alphonse too. So you can't go ahead and look at me and say like, "Oh, Shonen is garbage. It's trash." Well, because it has some filler episodes. But what about the good? I'm just saying. I'm just saying though. I'm just saying though. You know what? I digress. Let's move on.
Okay. Let's move on. No, you're
uh,
correct.
yeah. Let's get to comedy.
Comedy. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Hit us up with the anime starter packs for the comedy genre.
I got you with the comedy. All right, so comedy we're gonna go with Konosuba.
Okay. That's a good first one.
Very good first one. It's very visually pleasing, eye opening. The characters have unique hairstyles and unique um, powers.
Personalities. Personalities too.
Yeah, personalities,
Sheesh.
and it being able to grasp the attention of a lot of people, especially with these weird ass scenarios and just I feel like its absurdity with these events or what has happened is what makes it funny is because you would not expect people to be put in a certain situation or to even act like that in the first place. So that's why I would give them Konosuba because that would be a good, first interaction.
Okay. Okay.
Next one, Asobi Asobase. Even though I kind of find this one to be a little niche, I still think it's a great one. It's about these middle school children, these girls that kind of just I don't know, fuck around. I just every freaking time fuck around. The funniest faces, the funniest like details and like um emotions, or whether or not they're like I don't know upset or just doing some nonsense. Like I could have sworn I saw some crazy ass scene which is I don't know just it was something about butt cheeks and I was like what the hell's going on man.
Butt cheeks.
I was like what is happening. It was crazy. It was like butt cheeks moving and then like at a rapid pace and they added like a gun sound like firing like rapid fire. I was like, all
What
right,
are we doing
you
here?
lost me now.
What are we doing here?
What are we even doing? What
But
are we
hey,
even
you're in the
doing?
comedy genre, so I guess I expect it.
It was just absolutely crazy. Um, moving on to the next one. Let's get to one of my favorites, Grand Blue.
I'm with you on that one.
Grand Blue, one of my favorites easily. It's just pure chaos. You have drinking nonstop. Yeah, these guys are just out here. You would think the plot they would stick to the plot, but no, they don't. Like you're supposed to be diving, finding fish. Nah, everything that you drink, everything that you put in a glass is liquor. You know how they test it? Let me see if this light's on fire. Yeah, yeah. Just some crazy nonsense every single time.
Oh man.
That was definitely like the hit of the summer,
Th-
in my opinion.
and honestly, it does remind me because I have to watch season two still because remember it came out. I think it was part of the summer season, which we do have to have an episode about, but we'll get to that eventually. Um, yeah, the Grand Blue was a surprise to me only because like it hits different points of a person's maturity once they reach that I guess college level, and basically highlights the freedom that you get, but also the destruction that you had to deal with in terms of being a part of a so-called frat. I was never part of a frat, but I understood because I was around that. You're around that environment. You were a part of a frat. Yeah,
Indeed.
I was around that environment. I wasn't actually in it, but I got to see what people go through, and I feel like Grand Blue kind of like hits it on the nail with that one.
It's
It does.
it's the epitome of just like frat boy nonsense and just like it's like what the fuck? What the hell? You
Oh man.
oh my lord.
No, I'm with you on that one. Um, I am going to move on to the next genre, which is going to be the isekai genre. So, anime starter pack for the isekai genre. Number one,
Let's get to it.
my favorite. I'm not wearing the hat right now because right now it's getting washed. It's in the wash machine. But that time I got reincarnated as a slime is and will always be my favorite isekai of all time. There's a reason why. Now, keep in mind, this is a slime that literally works his way up, and this is a reincarnation. So he does in this isekai genre. He does die and come back to life as a slime, and he ends up literally working his way up to the top and becoming a demon lord. Spoiler, worth the watch. And the reason why I say this is not simply because of the fact that it's an interesting premise, because he's a slime, right? Like the lowest of the lows when it comes to monsters.
Mm.
It is because of the world building and the characters that you get to meet. It is pretty funny, but the way it interacts with the world, the way the slime interacts with the world, remember, and the way the world interacts with him, it is peak entertainment just to witness that, to see it. And ooh, I'm pretty excited because there's another season is coming out in April. So basically next month it's gonna be like 50 episodes.
Whoa, 50.
Yeah, and I'm like, so you got me on there, buddy. But watch it. Number two, okay, I have here. So am I Spider. So what?
Oh, yeah,
Do you
that
remember that Spider
one.
show? So this show, to be fair, I was a little skeptical going into it at first, okay, but it really does hit in more ways than one. And part of it is kind of the same with the slime, where you're basically a low level monster that you're reincarnated as, and you have to work your way up. But just seeing how she works her way up and kind of just like destroys everybody is just so funny. And there are some interesting story beats where sometimes the different sides of the plot makes it seem as if you're going back and forth in time. Like, oh, she's this spider, but then you're looking at a spider from the future, supposedly the future, that's a bigger spider. So you're like, oh wait, maybe that's her in the future, but it doesn't make any sense. You're trying to like piece out everything together.
Mm.
So I'm waiting for the next season of that. I'm very interested in that. Definitely get that one to watch.
That's literally Gwen Stacy, but just in spider form. I'm gonna be real with you.
That's the third one that I got for you is Overlord. Okay, Overlord definitely needs to kind of worth the watch only because of the fact that the dude's a skeleton. No, I'm kidding. The reason why is because this is the, I guess you can call it the one isekai that I basically relate to Sword Art Online because of the fact that there's also Log Horizon, but because of the fact that he ends up getting trapped in a game, so
Mm.
he really is reincarnated in a way. He's in the game. He's just not getting out. So him being a skeleton and being in charge of, I believe now the guild master of the entire guild, but his guild mates aren't on. It's literally just him, and he has all these different servants. Really cool, really interesting show, and it does kind of highlight a lot of different, I guess you can say, themes that are you wouldn't expect the show to cover. Similar
Mm.
to how Slime does the same thing. I like when they cover different themes. You're like, oh, ooh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
And the last one I'm gonna give Mushoku Tensei. Now, hear me out, guys. There are people who don't like Mushoku Tensei. I understand that. Okay,
I can definitely understand
it's
that.
for good reason. I understand, but for me, I do like it, and part of the reason why I do like it is because I like the way I like the way the characters sort of like live in the world. You really feel how the characters live in the world, and that's something that's really important for me in like a fantasy genre type show. You want to see that the characters have a place and they belong, and I feel that with Mushoku Tensei. The only person who doesn't belong is the person who's the main character. Clearly, now he
That's true.
tries to belong, doesn't always work. But part of the reason why is because he's literally an adult in a kid's body. So I get it. Isekais are like that. So those four, watch those if you're interested in isekai genre, and yeah,
Indeed.
let us know what you think.
Yeah, and watch those before you do Reincarnated as a Vending Machine because I've never watched that in my life.
I listen. Some friends watched it and they said that it was great.
Huh?
They said that they had a good time. Maybe that means it's not like legendary. It probably just means that like it was okay. It was like a funny watch. Like, oh, this is a
Oh,
vending machine. It's kind of funny. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those unexpected comedies. You're like, I'll give it a pass.
listen, if I get reincarnated as a vending machine
I'm off of myself.
or a couch, like I might just call it a
just
day,
just take
man.
just bro.
I'd rather be a pole.
Just empty should be a poll. Just empty out all the candy and stuff on my vending machine and just destroy me now. Just put me in a compactor because I'm not with it. I'm not trying to have people press my buttons all day.
Yep.
Sorry, not happening for me. What's next on your list, buddy?
Next on my list, you know what we got? Romance. Hmm.
Anime starter pack for the romance genre.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
This is kind of loaded. Let me hear it.
Listen, I'm gonna hit you. We're gonna gradually build up to this. Let's go with Sign of Affection. I'm gonna start with that because it's pretty recent, all considered of this list. What I'm about to give you, but Sign of Affection, really good anime. I thought it was perfectly well done, especially in a unique setting where someone is deaf.
And it's only one season out right now. We're like, oh,
Only one season out, and somehow you still were able to gravitate to me, but also grab the attention of everyone else. You want to know why? Because they tied the freaking knot in the first season. That's what we'd like to see. Not no second season, not no, oh, wait a minute. They just hugged and got close. No,
nah,
we got there. We did it.
nah,
We did
we did
that.
it.
This is what I'm talking about. We like to see the consistent development, and we like to see a perfect ending that satisfies the fans. We also like to see the fact that it's visually pleasing.
Hmm.
Characters are their own. Like they're not, completely. I can't really find any one of those other characters in another show. I'll be real with you.
Yeah,
It feels
they ain't copy and paste. It feels unique.
it feels unique, and not to mention that you start to feel the way someone when they make moves onto a person to really they're very intentional with how a person moves and how they try to grasp the attention of another person when it comes to I want to profess my love to you.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm
This
with
is
you.
what I'm talking about. Let's get on to the next one. Corey Mia,
Peak.
peak, absolute peak. Even though I feel like it went by like a flash, like it was nothing. It was only like one season and then another season that was in the
It was like
or was it like in the past or
not in the
no?
past, but they were covering a bunch of I guess you can call them l- like side stories almost, like fillerish side stories that
Mm,
were kind of in between the lines of the first season, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe that's what it was. Like it wasn't really much of a progression into the next chapter of Horimiya. But
mm.
I think the love stories and stuff that were in the second season, they were still good. Like I thought they were great. But I wanted to see where they were going in the future. So I'm waiting for the next season of that. But no, you're right. Yeah, I think yeah, that has to be on the list for romance. It has to. It has to.
It's done its job and it made a very good impact on me, especially when it comes to appearance wise. Do not judge a book by its cover. All right. Never do that. I felt that was the first lesson that they taught within the first few episodes, and I enjoyed it. I really do enjoy it because I do not like judging people by covers. Okay,
Of
they
course
got
not.
tattoos and piercings. Okay, now you think that what they scary and that they don't give a fuck about life? Nah, they could be the kindest soul ever, and you never know.
That's true.
Um,
What's next in the romance list?
Next, Toradora, classic,
That is a classic.
absolute classic. Being able to grab at your heartstrings, being able to identify in a crisis that a lot of people have gone through, which is liking someone that does not like you back, or having a whole entire love circle. That is something that everyone has probably experienced in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, definitely.
And I'm not talking, oh, you were in a relationship. No, I'm saying I like you, Stacy likes him, Justin likes her, such and such. This is what I'm talking about.
No, guaranteed.
Definitely went through that through high school. It is not a fun time, I promise you, though. It ain't a fun time at all.
Yo.
God damn. You'll be just like, yo, I really like you, but I'm trying to show you what's up. But the next thing you know, it's like, but I like Brad.
But I like Brad
But
is
Brad doesn't
crazy.
even look in your direction, dog. Like, what? Huh? Next thing you know, it is what it is. But
This is the struggle that we deal with.
yeah. But no, I definitely enjoyed that one. It definitely hits in the feels. But lastly, we're gonna go with Love is War.
Arguably, and I'm gonna put this out there, arguably the best romance of all time. Fight me in the comments. I don't care. Like,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying the way you added the comedic effects, the events that keep on happening in chronological order that lead up to the slight buildup of their feelings confessing for one another, even though we know for a fact, we were like, wait a minute, who fell in love first?
we knew they were living with each other from the start. That's what makes it so good, is the fact that you get to see the growth of the characters as they all their walls just come down. They slowly, season after season, all their walls just come down and they keep coming down. And when you see that final season, final wall come down, you're like, I'm a proud dad. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just proud. Period. Like, this is something that my heart is just aching has been aching to see this entire time.
And I'll be real with you. Sometimes love can be war. You have all these walls up, trying to get to your real self that people got to break down first, and you have to see how they deal with that wall. Once they break through that first one, are they tired? Do they not want to go through the layers and layers and trying to figure out? Wait a minute, let me get to the center of this. Let me get to the center of the Tootsie Pop. Let me find out. Let me find out you a sweetheart. Let me treat you right. I'm gonna treat you right now. Oh my lord.
Oh man. No, that's good. That's good. I listen, romance, it puts me in the feels. And no, you're absolutely correct. I mean, we all know that it can be pretty depressing to watch romance and nothing but romance. So I tend to sprinkle in other shows. Like I can't just watch like nothing. There used to be a time where I'd be able to watch like five romances back to back, but now
Yeah.
nah, I need to sprinkle some other stuff in there, you know? Like for example, the next genre I'm about to talk about, which is the mystery genre. Okay, anime starter pack for the mystery genre. This is specifically for mystery. The first one I'm going to do here is Death Note. We already know Death Note is, and very well could be, one of the best mysteries of all time because you know the answer to that mystery, but you're watching it unfold because other people are trying to solve it. You already know. You already
Hmm.
know who Kira is, bro. But you get to see everybody else try to figure it out, bruh. Bruh,
Hmm.
bruh. And then you see everything that's happening like along the lines like this person he doesn't know who this person is, but he knows who that person is, and then all these different intersections of information, and then it gets blocked, and you get to see how geniusly put together the show is. RIPL, your boy. But it really is one of the greatest mysteries of all time in terms of just anime. And I'm gonna move on to the second one, Erased. Erased is the good show. And you yourself have watched the race. I don't know how many times you've watched it. To be fair, Erased, it did put me in my feels. But when you watched the race for the first time, how did you feel? When you went through the premise of Erased and everything that happens, with the what
Mm,
how did you feel?
I felt like I was like suffocating while watching someone suffer. That's what I felt. I was like, "Are you serious? Like this could have been prevented." And then you look at it and you're like, "Oh my lord!" Especially the way a certain character,
We're not
I'm not gonna,
we ain't gonna spoil it,
I
but
ain't gonna, but like, it was just you saw the culmination of a power that was, very odd, but also it was used in a way for to rectify what they believe was a mistake in their life. The main character has a good way of following through towards the end.
Yep. Is exactly why I think Erase needs to be on the list because when you watch it, you'll understand if you watch it. Like if you're interested, if you're really interested in the mystery and you're understanding like just all these different pieces and how they come together at the end, that's probably one of the greatest. And I'm gonna end it there with the third one, Summertime Render.
That was a good one.
I think Summertime Render is probably one of the best shows that we've gotten recently in terms of just like horror, psychological horror, but also mystery included in it because you're trying to figure out exactly what's going on with this dark being, this person who's, uh, I guess we can give like a short summary here, but um, one of the people, one of the girls in the show, she died. She ends up coming back, but she's not actually herself. She's basically somebody else. Kind of like if you watched The Summer Hikaru Died, Hikaru was replaced and he was
Mm,
replaced by a monster. But this time it's kind of the same, but she still has her own psyche. She still is her own individual person. She has her individuality, and she has this relationship with the main character, the MC. I guess you can consider it to be like double MCs in a way, but you get to see them sort of solve a mystery as they're going through the show, even though it's kind of like a horror esque mystery, and it's definitely up there in terms of mysteries for me personally. Like I was like, oh wow, this is cool. You know what I mean?
okay.
So I think I might have did I did I take your genre? I think I did.
Mm.
Yeah, I did.
Oh yeah, you did. I mean, I'll just add in like a honorable mention.
Yeah,
Odd Taxi. That's a good one.
that is a good one.
That's a really good one. It has very cute animation. It's about animals and then just going through everyday life, and you're trying to figure out, um, you know, uh, sorry, what is it? I believe it's murder. I can't remember if it's a murder or just. But this one guy is just driving a taxi around. He interacts with almost everybody in the city, and he's hearing nonstop conversation, but also being low key. Like he is the type of person that is able to listen, has a good ear,
Mm,
and holds the key to a lot of information, key information
key.
to solving a lot of issues, even his own past. So I find it very fulfilling and very funny too.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm with that, brother. Since oh, I guess yeah, I think my next genre is the oh yeah, I'll do this one too. That way you
Which
can
one?
jump into the because I think the next genre you have yeah. So
Oh, okay.
the next one, next genre that we have anime starter pack for the psychological genre. Now, you might be thinking, oh, psychological, but realistically speaking, psychological is separate from mystery, but it can include mystery. You know, it's psychological when it is affecting the psyche, it's affecting the mind. And that's why the first one I have on the list here for psychological is psychopaths. I mean, goddamn, it's in the name, you know?
It's in the pack.
But we discussed this on one of the most recent episodes where psychopaths does have a villain that is very how do I say it? Is he's a different type of villain and the reason why he's a different type of villain is because of the fact that he brings something to the table. Like he's a villain that you could relate to in a way because he's basically breaking the mold. And I think that's a good villain to follow for Psychopaths, especially because Psychopaths is dealing with the idea of managing a society through policing before actions even happen, before crimes even happen. And that's definitely a very, very, very dangerous ideology that the villain tries to counteract. So I think it's worth a watch, especially for psychological.
Absolutely. I feel like that was definitely one of the ones that attacked some good themes, especially when we come to those hostile situations where things could get physical.
Mhm.
Do we de-escalate or do we take the initiative and just say, "No, we're gonna eliminate the threat"? That's crazy.
That is crazy. Second one I got for you, ID Invaded. Now this is an interesting one because I stumbled upon this. I think it was I forgot which season. It might have been in 2020 or 2019. I'm not too sure. I can't remember exactly which season it was, but yeah, I stumbled upon it when I was on Mal. And the reason why ID Invaded kind of just hit me different is because it was like the first show where I watched somebody sort of like enter into a crime scene without actually being at the crime scene. It was
Mm,
very very psychological in terms of, I believe the premise was that the main character could dive into a dead person's mind, or it was either a dead person's mind or a person who's alive, if they just recently committed a crime or something like that.
Mm,
And you get to see him sort of solve mysteries by piecing things together and breaking down different psychological barriers within their head, without them really, like, there's, it's almost as if like they're doing it without a key.
mm.
But there's only specific people that could do this. I think the main character had to experience some sort of like death, or not even death, but like near death experience to sort of be allowed to do that. But
Okay.
it's a long time ago since I watched the show
Yeah, it was either the near death or
or
like
something like that.
some psychological trauma that
Yeah.
happened, I think.
And the last one I'm going to give to you for psychological is Steins Gate. Steins Gate, funnily enough, even though it is an older anime, it
Ow.
it surprised me because despite being, on the older side of things, it does really uniquely put together a very well written time traveling sequence. The time travel that happens in that show and how it affects the mind is what makes it such a good psychological anime, because you get to see the main character and all these other characters sort of break down when things don't go the way they're supposed to go. It's basically like a team of people who, they're doing some experiments and all of a sudden those experiments don't go the right way. Excuse me. You know what I mean? So, Steins Gate, definitely watch that if you're into psychological.
Indeed.
And I'll let you take care of the next genre.
I got you. So next drama we have sports. Let's get to it, man. You know how it is. Honestly, I would say like Chrono Basket, but thing is I haven't watched it,
I,
unfortunately.
I also have not watched it, which is why I probably also stick with the ones I have watched. But it's interesting because there's some anime that have they're sporty types, but they're not like generic sports. They're like different types of sports. Like there's one anime, I forgot the name of it. It was about these girls who had like shoes that can make them fly, and they were playing like, I want to say it was like soccer, but it was some type of game that they were playing the entire time.
Uh,
But let me not interrupt you. Continue with your list.
hmm. Oh, that sounds intriguing.
It does, but continue with your list.
um, let's go start off with Haikyuu.
Hmm.
Haikyuu was definitely hitting the ground running, like because it for starters had a very good main character, good determination, lets you experience what loss is and how to deal with it in terms of like, you losing a game is something that you really love, and crying over the loss or
Hmm.
being frustrated. That's all part of sports. That definitely probably resonated with a lot of people that watch this. So it's very good. I recommend it, and you're gonna fly.
Mm.
Fly
You're gonna
high.
fly. You're
Fly
gonna fly
high.
high. You're gonna fly high.
So next I got Blue Lock. The main reason why I'm going to add Blue Lock is because of the fact that it has definitely grasped the attention of a lot of people since it's fairly new.
It is.
But it's the idea of having your career on the line, being like a last chance type of situation on to get to the professional level.
Hmm.
And you see these kids go through this harsh development, this cutthroat rise to the top rankings type of shit. And you start to watch their journey, each player, and realize how driven they are to make it big, to actually be a professional football player. Sorry, football.
Football.
And I kind of figured it fits the narrative of what it takes to be an athlete, a professional athlete. The grind that you got to put in, the work, the diet, the exercises, the extra work that you got to do after your exercises, after your freaking practice, after a scrimmage, everything down to how you sleep. It's all oriented to help you reach your goal, and the same thing is given to them, but within a facility, within a cutthroat facility, where if you don't hit that shit, if you don't stop this person, if you don't score a goal or you lose games, you lose your fucking career.
Yeah. Get cooked. It's like being in March
Point
Madness,
blank.
except if you lose in March Madness, you're not even going to the school anymore.
And you lose a
Get
March Madness,
cooked.
it's like, yeah, yeah, by the way, You're done.
You're done.
Your D1
We're
career
getting a whole new team.
over.
Yo, I'm dead.
Oh man. Next one I would do was probably be Yuri on Ice or
Or
even
medalist.
Medalist too. Yuri on Ice and Medalist are both really good ice skating sports anime that follow good protagonists. Um, both with Yuri on Ice with following their dreams, and then also we have Medalist. That is the same thing too, like where you just follow this young girl and she's following her dreams on the ice, and it's both of them have very good animation styles. I really enjoy Medalist's one
Hmm.
too. It's a way of like showing the spins, rotating the camera along with the character spinning, and also having certain angles. And sometimes it includes 3D,
All right, right.
but I'm not too mad at the 3D. It's not too clunky. It's not too like crazy.
Right, because I
So
understand 3D can be a little bit of a pain sometimes when you see it in the animation.
yes,
Well, Medalist is out. Medalist season 2 is out right now, and I actually really good timing considering that the Winter Olympics is going on, or it'll be finished by the time this episode releases. But the Winter Olympics just being kind of going on while the anime airs is absolute peak. Like it's almost if yo, we need to put this out as soon as these ice skaters are just
yep.
cooking. Because I mean, you've been seeing it, bro. These ice skaters have been cooking. I mean, look what happened with
I'll listen to you.
yeah, Lou and Ilya. He did have some painstakings here and there. I think he was like last place in one of the settings that he did, but he was still cooking. Like he cooked beautifully. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean he all he really needs to do is settle his nerves, and he'll be a really really good ice skater. So like, you putting two and two together, you're translating this, and you're putting it and comparing it to medalists and Yuri on Ice. You're like, wow, this is it right here.
This is it.
This
All
is
the
peak.
technicalities, all the technique, the spin, oh, we're doing a triple Lutz or we're doing an X. I'm like, yo,
Quad,
listen,
quad god. It's a
it,
lot.
it's a lot.
It's a lot, but it's cool. I like the fact that they. I mean, I'm assuming that they do it. They kind of highlight those moves that they're doing because it makes sense because the anime has to teach you in some way, shape, or form. Similar to how like you're watching Haikyuu, you're watching Blue Lock, you're learning about all the different positions, you're learning about all the different responsibilities that they have in the
Yes.
sport. If you're not even interested in the sport, never actually watched it, never seen it, you will learn just from watching and just from listening. That's I like anime like that. It gets very educational. It's not just a lie. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So that's good. Let me move on to my next one. Okay. And
what you got?
I do have a good one here because it resonates and hits home with me. I think I mentioned this a lot. Like if you watch this podcast, I mentioned it like probably 5 times within the last 5 episodes. Okay. Anime starter pack for the historical fiction genre. Number one on the list is Kingdom. Okay, watch Kingdom because it is a show about the unification of China and it is legit. Okay, it is some deep shit. This main character, bro, Shin, he is the shit. You get to see this man climb up from the bottom. This bro was ranked up like a grunt. He was basically he was a starter. Okay, he pulled up to Call of Duty with no loadout, bro. He didn't. He had no loadout, no weapon, no
The
nothing. And all of
loadout.
a sudden, he's climbing the ranks, bro. He picked up a sword. He's trying to become a general, just like Naruto tried to become a Hokage, just like Luffy is trying to become king of the pirates. Bro is trying to make it. And what does he do? He ends up getting an army of 500, gets an army of what 100, then it goes up to like 500, then 1,000, then 10,000. He's practically almost a general at this point when there's this part in the season. And you know what's crazy? The point we're at in the manga, there's still another 400 chapters left to read. So we're like, if that's gonna translate over to the anime, So Kingdom is for me probably the pinnacle of historical fiction anime for me. It absolutely 100%. Now, second on the list here for historical, right? I got Vinland Saga, and I got to bring this up because Vikings. But I got to bring this up because Vinland Saga, you think that it's gonna be like a show that's strictly just about Vikings literally getting destroying people, which does happen. Let's be real. Vikings do raid places, and they did have that whole situation where they ended up leaving Norway and Denmark and going to England and all those raids that happen in the process. Like this story covers that, and Christianity and that coming into the play, because remember they believe in the Norse gods and everything,
Mm,
right? But then the Christianity comes into play, and they treat Christianity as if it's like the devil or something like that. You know what I mean? Like they don't consider it to be a religion because they worship the Norse gods. So seeing how that works and seeing how even some Vikings literally they convert to Christianity, they get baptized and this and that. So yeah, you get to see all this, and it's really well written. But not only that, you get to see the main character and his character arc in the beginning becoming a, first of all, the guy, his dad stands up, he dies standing up, which to me is still crazy. But the main character develops so much within the first season that you see what it does to him in the second season. When he gets to the second season, you're like, whoa, Thorfinn, what happened to you?
I
Because
have
he,
no enemies.
yeah, I have no enemies. It's almost as if he became like Jesus. You know what I mean? Like that's what I mean, I'm just saying that's what it feels like. So that's why I have that on there. The last historical fiction one, and this is kind of a little different because it's not actually like historical fiction. It's really just fantasy fiction. But Arslan Senki, the reason why I put that on the list for historical fiction is because it does cover a lot of different wars that happen in the show that are very tactical,
Hmm.
and you get to see how that is portrayed in the character's mind, but also in the other characters' minds, the other side characters. And I guess that in and of itself, to me, constitutes historical fiction, but I could be wrong. Like you could call it like war fiction or something. I don't know. Like
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like where do I put it in the genre category? I feel like I just have to put it here,
I mean, I guess it would have to be historical or war, in some way,
something
type
like
of
that.
form.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's for the genre. That's for the genre. What you got next?
Listen, next genre I got for you, slice of life. Slice of life has always been there. It's always done its job. Where you're able to, there's always that random slice of life that has like one season, and you're just like, I watched you for one season, and you absolutely changed my life, but you don't get another season of, and I'm like, what? Who was making the sauce? And I want to know, why do you not have more of it?
Bro, we need more sauce.
We need more sauce.
We need more ketchup. We need more barbecue or something.
Barbecue, honey mustard, I don't care. I need the sauce. I need the recipe.
No, it just sucks when, especially the really good seasons, first season, and then you're like, okay, where's season two? Any day now? Okay, all right, cool. Guess it's just not gonna happen.
Either that or just it just ends on the first season. You're just like, oh, but I want more though.
But I want more.
Oh
Give
my
me the
god.
goods. What you got?
I'm gonna go with Little Light. I'm gonna go Insomniac.
Okay, that's a really good one to put on the list. That was actually my honorable mention for that one. But yeah, that's good. That's a good one
Yeah.
because it's basically a slice of life, but also romance. But it's mainly a slice of life.
Yes, it's mainly slice of life. They have romance as the subplot, but it's mostly slice of life. Being able to, okay, you're an insomniac, you can't sleep, and then you guys are staying up in school, you're talking about life, and you're just basically just vibing with each other. I feel like that has happened to me plenty of times in life where
Hmm.
you'll have those random 2 a.m., 3 a.m. conversations deep about life and existentialism and some shit. And I'm like, you don't even know why it's happening. You're just like, yo, I'm here, man. Like,
Bro was
straight up,
cooked.
straight up.
Bro was faded. I know you weren't. I know you weren't, but like it sounds like faded thoughts. I'm gonna lie to you. It
Absolutely
does.
faded.
It does.
It sounds like faded thoughts, but it's literally spitballing what's on your mind, and then you're just like, wait a minute, let's expand upon that. We have more to think about here. So I definitely enjoyed that, especially how interpersonal those two characters were, and
Yeah, the stars too. I mean,
yeah,
they're there to watch the stars. It's pretty cool. They drove the what was the astronomy club,
hmm,
stargazing, beautiful. They had some
absolutely,
really good imagery in that animation was actually really nice.
absolutely perfect.
Damn. What you got next?
I have Kobayashi the Dragon Maid,
Okay,
a really good slice of life. I
that's
thought
good.
it was good, even though it has like dragons in it. You're like, wait a minute, how does this relate to real life? But It's, your regular degular, you got a job, you don't have a job, or, you have some of the dragons, like, just being maids
Hmm.
for the main character. Then some of them do get some jobs, or they interact with other people that are just going through daily life, or like, selling shit, or just working their own business or small business, mini business. Um, and it has really cute animation. I ain't gonna lie, the animation is very cute.
It is. It is. It's unique. You don't really see too much animation like that these days.
Hmm.
Um, unless you're watching something really, really light. But even then, it doesn't have it's like unique but crisp at the same time. It's like okay, we put money into this, but at the same time, like it's calm.
Hmm.
So
Nice and calm. Um, I'm gonna go with Bochi the Rock. That
Bochi,
that anime was funny as hell.
probably the queen of like lazy girl memes, but not lazy girl memes, just like in general, like
Mm,
real feel girl memes, like her spazzing out, um, being super anxious,
yes,
not being able to do what she wants to do, but then she ends up doing it anyways.
exactly. It's like being able to overthink yourself to the point of like, okay, what is the next step? And I feel like I'm about to melt right now. Like my brain is melting, but then you end up doing exactly what you desire to do. I feel like that's a good anime where you get out of your slump
Hmm.
and then start to do the things that interest you. And hers was music. Hers was, playing a guitar. You learn it. Now you're in a band. Now you're interacting with people. She didn't know how to interact with people, and then now you have people that just want to breathe life into you or want to rise you up.
She's got it now. I think that that anime is actually really good for slice of life because you get to see somebody. She reminds me of that person who could not talk to people, could not do this, could not do anything. But she could do things just fine on her own. Like if she's at home, like everything's
Exactly.
chill. That's basically what happened. She started off like, didn't she? Wasn't she like a not like a VTuber, but she did her music online and she had an alias and she didn't show
Hmm.
her face. Nobody knew who she was, but she had so many followers. It's like you have the skill. Oh,
You
you could do it.
you just need the confidence. That's
Yeah,
all.
just need the confidence. And she wanted to be on stage. She wanted to be live. She wanted to do all that. If she didn't want to do it, she would. But she wanted to be part of a band, and that's exactly what happened. That's a good show. It's a really good show.
Yep. Really
That was the last one you had for the slice of life.
good. I guess Skip the Loafer would be another one I would probably add.
Oh yeah, Skip the Loafer was really good too.
Really good one.
That one, I think the Skip the Loafer one was probably that one was more. I mean, it technically is high school based, so you get to see how they interact in high school. But the slice of lives that tend to happen in high school, they tend to include a bit of romance. This one, it's almost as if they knew for a fact that you were going to expect romance, but they completely cut it out. So they keep it more towards the relationships between friends and what friends have in
Mm,
terms of like fitting in and being a part of a society, school society. You know what I mean? So I think that's a good one too as well. Um, but yeah, with that, I'll move on to one of my favorite genres, sci-fi.
mm-hmm.
Buddy, buddy, buddy. So anime starter pack for the sci-fi genre. I'm gonna hit you up with the first one here. Kanata no Astra. Okay, this one here is a big one because for me, excellent space odyssey, and it surrounds characters that I guess you could say are of the younger variety. They're
Mm,
basically, you could say they're high schoolers, basically. I think they are. But yeah, they are. Because they go on a field trip, right? And that field trip ends up going sour. That field trip literally puts them on a planet where they practically suffering just trying to get back home. And
yes.
I feel like that is what really draws people in when it comes to sci-fi. Like you want to see people dive into space, I guess, right? But also dive into scientific problems, and they deal with a lot of that when they're up there. You get to see some stuff that just comes out of nowhere and like, whoa, how do we even get here? Or it affects a person this way and affects their mind. Seeing stuff like that happen in an anime, I think is worth it. So watch it.
100%.
Number two, this one we did talk about recently in the last show, Cowboy Bebop. Okay, Cowboy Bebop's a good show, but it's not just because it's called Cowboy Bebop and because the main character is Spike Spiegel. No, that's not the reason. It is because of how it is kind of treated as if it's an adventure and a journey that never ends. Spike goes through this journey with his team, with his crew, and you get to see him evolve as he's going through it. Now, obviously, he has his own fighting style. He still believes and he has his notions, right? He still believes um, that he's the best, the best of the best. But you get to see him develop even in the show, despite the fact that it's going like not really a snail's pace, but it's going at a kind of like a monster of the week type pace. It's
Master of
still,
the Week.
yeah, it still is developing his character. You get to see him interact with his crew and become even closer with them. Um, and he encounters all these problems. They encounter all these problems, and they get through. They get through, and you get to see that. Kind of reminds me of you never. I don't know if you've seen this show. You probably haven't.
Hmm?
There's a show called Firefly. It's not an anime. It's a sci-fi show that came out a couple years back. Not more than a couple years, probably like 10, 15 years, maybe 20. Um, but that also surrounded it also surrounded a crew of people that were on a ship that they were just basically going around doing things like they were bounty hunting, they were doing a bunch of other stuff. That was a really good show. Definitely worth it.
Bounty Hunters.
Number three, Akudama Drive. Akudama Drive to me was surprising because it hit me as in the beginning as a sci-fi but cyberpunkish type show, right?
That's what
That
I got the vibe of.
you got that vibe too, right?
Yeah.
So very cyberpunkish, like oh, I feel like I'm playing Cyberpunk 2077 right now because I'm watching this right now. And the main character, she's don't get me wrong, like you wouldn't really call her generic. She is sort of like very alluring because she does have dyed hair, she has very unique eyes, but it's not just her. It's all the characters that she's involved with and the fact that everybody is trying to get this money. You know what I mean? It's basically like a heist. They're trying to save this person. Everything's gonna be fine if the heist is pulled off. So 100% really good cyberpunk show, and it belongs in the sci-fi category. So that's why I'm giving it to you now as a recommendation, and that's sci-fi.
Nice.
Before you continue, though, might as well just jump over to the fantasy, right?
Yeah, let's go over the fantasy.
Okay, anime starter pack for the fantasy genre. I'm gonna let you take it here. Freeman, 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 Sosino Freeman, Freeman Beyond's Journey's End. Tell me how you feel about that show.
I mean, I feel like it revived the damn fantasy genre. If I'm being real with you, it was it was the potion. It was the max potion.
It was
I'm gonna be real with you. It was because it it allowed you to go through the fantasy world of exploration, being able to explore what goes on around the entire world within that landscape. So instead of you just having, okay, we got magic, we got spells, we got elves, we have dwarves, we got healers, we got humans, such and such. You have those things. You have demons now. And then you're also going through magic school or Fern when she has to learn a defensive spell. Then you have them, grouping up eventually. And you also talk about life. That was
That's
the
it.
that was the missing aspect. And was like in fantasy, when you think about fantasy, you're thinking about wars, you're thinking about arrows, sorry,
Arrows, bows like Legolas.
like you
Yeah.
think well, swords, wands, everything. Like, and it has that. It's gonna have the basics.
Yeah.
But what I need it to also have is that emotional development. When I see Freeman, an elf that is however many thousand-year old, and hasn't experienced having friends until she ends up with her group. Obviously,
Yep.
you have a master, but you with your group, and you see them eventually grow and get old, and then
hmm
pass on. She starts to feel those emotions for the first time, and you're like, "Wait a minute, this kind of hits."
It's crazy because the amount of learning that Freeman does, because Freeman has all these books, right? She sees all these grimoires and she reads and she has all this knowledge because she spent so many years studying, right? But it's almost as if she learned more during that small time that she was with her group.
Exactly.
It's crazy. It's and she values that knowledge for sure. But you get to really see it flourish and come through throughout the rest of the show when she's with Fern and when she ends up with Stark and the other character, I forgot his name, but he was there for a bit. Um, you get to see how that knowledge that she learned within that short period of time pays off in her interactions with other people. And it is
Exactly.
beautiful because you're like, wow, the one thing that she values above anything else is knowledge and grimoires and spells and everything. But she really does value the time that she spent. with her group. It is heartfelt. It is honestly, ooh, tear.
Yeah,
Like it's crazy.
he's definitely learned a lot, except for those chests.
So you get, except for those chests, except for those mimics. Please watch Freerun. I'll hit up the second one, right? Second one for the fantasy genre I have is Log Horizon. I mentioned Log Horizon before when I mentioned solo leveling and no, when I mentioned Overlord, right?
Yes.
So Log Horizon, the reason why I think it deserves to be in the fantasy genre is because it doesn't just sort of like take you outside of the fantasy world. You know how like Overlord doesn't take you outside the fantasy world either. So you technically could put Overlord in this genre as well. But the reason why I do with Log Horizon is because it's very like strictly fantasy. Like you could see the fantasy elements within the world. You could see the different classes. You could see how they interact with all the different people. And it's definitely a fantasy game. Like you get to witness that. But not only that, you're not really seeing much of the outside. I don't even think you really see any of the outside world for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're in the game and every single time you die, you lose your memories, right? But you get to see how the world functions like outside of just the main characters and their developments. And you see it through their eyes, yes, but you get to see everything else around it. So that's why I think that's a good fantasy show to watch. Log Horizon for sure.
Absolutely.
And number three would be Little Witch Academia. So I there are a couple shows that I could definitely slot in for Little Witch Academia, but I think the reason why I put this on here is because Little Witch Academia it kind of like almost confuses you at first because you're thinking you're gonna watch it and it's just gonna be a grand old time with these witches and everything will be fine. No, people actually died in the show, bro. Like things, serious things happen in this show where
Damn.
like you're like, how do we get here? It's not just about witches, it's more to that. There's a villain here. There's real deep rooted stuff that happens in the show that should be highlighted and will be highlighted in many years to come because it's that good.
Hmm.
It's worth it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want another witch show, like there's other witch shows, like Elaine the Witch is a really good show. That one's basically her journey. That one's surprisingly, I think, might be even darker than Little Witch Academia. I might have to like really think about it, but there's a lot
Um,
of themes that happen in Elaine the Witch that you're like, okay, this is a bit much. So yeah, give that a watch if you're interested in witch shows. But yeah, you wanna hit up the next drama?
yes, I do. So the next genre we got going on is horror.
Scary.
We love that.
Do we?
No.
It's funny because now that we're looking at this list here, I have one to add as an honorable mention, but I'm gonna let you continue.
Okay. I'm gonna start off with Parasite. Pretty self-explanatory. I mean,
The fi-
your whole
was it the
finger
finger or the
coming,
hand? Yeah, it's like the
yeah,
yeah.
the whole bleed, and then just getting infested with a parasite to the point where you can now change your body and use weapons, and you have like a living thing inside of your body. This has definitely been on the scale of grotesque,
Oh yeah, 100%.
but at the same time, you're like, yeah, this definitely fits horror, and it definitely is very shocking at a lot of things. Very shocking, very shocking. I guess you start to see the main character, as he has a parasite within his body, being able to use it for both himself and other people,
Mhm.
his strength and blades, and killing people such and such. But um, it's just very unique the way those powers were used, and also how unexpected some people would be. Like you looking at a regular person, you're like, oh, it's just regular, regular person. Nothing wrong with them. And then you just explode out with like all these limbs, extensions, and
Bruh,
blades, and then like, oh yeah,
that was creepy.
it was creepy.
Yeah, that's some horror side stuff.
Definitely went into my soul. So I would definitely put it as a recommendation for horror for sure.
Okay.
Next thing we're gonna go to Dead Man Wonderland. Off the first episode,
Oh
that
yeah.
should already tell you it's horror. It's like, yeah, we're gonna drive you insane and make sure that you just dislike everything that's going on. The gore, the death, the oh, you want to be hopeful? You think this person nah, they're not gonna survive though.
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
Not at all. I kind of wish that it got more seasons. because
Yeah,
it just cut short.
me too. No, I'm with you on that one.
It just sucks, but it's definitely a good one. It definitely drew me in. Obviously, the first episode, but further on to like looking towards the future, like is there more left?
Mm.
But hey, I hope they get another season
It would be
because
nice if they
I
did.
would love it.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Last but not least, I mean we've mentioned this quite a lot. Made in Abyss.
Oh, Made in Abyss. No, no, this deserves to be on the list. Honestly, if I were anybody else, like I'd just put it at the top.
I probably put it
Personally, for
at
me, I just put it at the top. Like I know people are gonna say, but it's not like really like it is horror, but I think it's more gorish horror than it is like regular horror. Like you know what I
it's
mean? But
disturbing.
it is disturbing. Like if it really disturbs you, I feel like that constitutes as horror. You know,
It has to
like it's
be.
really bad disturbing. Like it's d- diabolically disturbing.
How is it not diabolical or horrifying for a person to make someone else pudding? Banana pudding.
I'm dead. It's bad, and they're aware of the fact that they're banana pudding. They're
Like
still alive, suffering.
this is I this is what I was saying about like that dude is literally on some Shao Tucker level.
It
He might be
He's
worse.
worse.
He might be worse.
I'm basically considering him worse than Shaltuk. I don't really care about Shaltuk anymore. It's, when you see what Bondra does, it's like, all right. For those of y'all who don't know Made in Abyss, just watch Made in Abyss. You'll understand the villain is diabolical, and he's not even the main villain. I don't even think he is.
He
He might
not
be.
even
He's one of the main villains. I don't think he's the main villain, to be honest. But
I don't even consider him a villain because he just be sitting there every single time and like, hey yo, why don't I just improve my experiments?
improve humanity. He wants to improve humanity. That's why he's doing his experience.
What by turning them into desserts? I'm so confused. What the fuck going on? Into Jello?
I'm dead.
All right.
No, no, you're right. You're right. That's why it's on the list. That's why it's on the list. We do have one more genre here for today, though. This is the shoujo genre. Okay, anime starter pack for the shoujo genre. This is a big genre for the woman. Okay, obviously because it does correlate to young girls, right? But it does tend to include mostly male side characters because they're usually surrounding the female, but also being sort of those potential love interests. So, for example, I have number one, Oran High School Host Club, because that's basically, you mentioned it earlier in the show, the pinnacle of, if anything, probably the king, queen of shoujo anime because of what it's done for the genre. You know, the main character, Haruri, being surrounded by all these men, but also basically becoming a man in the process because she's a part of the host club. So she has to like dress up as a man. Um, you get to see her interact with these characters and sort of their relationships develop over time. And when you see it happen, you're like, oh wow, like what's gonna happen here? Like who's she gonna pick? Like, oh, is it gonna be this character? Is it gonna be, it's interesting. You get to watch it. There's other shows that do similar, but where does it come from? It usually comes from this show. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I mean, I could throw on Sailor Moon on this list too as well, but like I'm gonna hold off on Sailor Moon only because I feel like Sailor Moon's one of those like she's all the way up there. Sailor Moon is one of those where it's like this could be a shonen, but it's not. It's a shoujo, but it still has shonen qualities. You know what I mean?
It's in a echelon of itself.
It's yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
its
be
own
real with
thing.
you.
You know, it's
It's
its
an
own
own
thing.
thing. Like it's shojo. Yes, it's in shojo. But when you kind of put it up there, and you're like, yeah, this is one of the grand olds that we just gotta put on the shelf, and you got to get to it.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to
It's
rise
on
up,
the shelf.
climb the ranks, and get to it. It's like Yu Yu Hakusho. It's like Dragon Ball. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh. It's like Pokemon.
Old
It's like
legends.
old legends that have definitely paved the way for other animes.
Yeah. No,
So
I'm with that.
it's in a tier of its own.
Yeah, no, I'm with that. The second one we got is Fruits Basket, which I still have yet to watch, but the reason why I put it on this list is because I know people would be mad at me if I didn't. And it's for good reason. It's because Fruits Basket it is one of those shows where it's a shoujo, yeah, but it has sort of the emphasis on the woman of the show basically having all these men around her. So it has that same quality, that same type of quality. And third, Akatsuki no Yono. The reason why I like this one specifically is because it does sort of surround a character who is sort of the strong type of woman. Like she has that strength in her that pulls forward when she taps into her warrior qualities because she uses a bow and arrow, right? I
Mhm.
believe. She is a warrior, but there are men around her who, you know, bring out the woman in her. You know what I mean? So you get to see that happen, and I think that's really, really excellent, really cool. And I actually have an honorable mention here for that. Seventh Time Loop. Seventh Time Loop is a villainous genre type anime.
I do
Um,
remember.
but the reason why I like it is because the main character, she she has different lives. So this is her seventh time living her life, and she's trying to find a different way to make things different because every single time she lives her life, it ends up with war and violence, and she ends up dead. And then she ends up looping back, and now she has another chance to make things different. She has like different jobs for every single time she dies. It's kind of funny. But now in the seventh loop, this time around, she's literally with the person who kills her. Like she's not really with him, but like she does sort of get with him in a way. He's like the prince of like this country that ends up taking over the entire world. So,
Mm.
so I think yeah, that's a good one right there. And yeah, that's pretty much all we got. You agree? This is a good list, right?
I mean, yeah, it's a pretty solid list. I think it's a good introduction to a lot of different variety of anime. Let me see.
You don't have that anymore. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't think I should add anymore. I think
Yeah, yeah,
it's set in stone. Like, sure, there's other ones that I've like thought of, like, oh, well, what about this? What about that? But I feel like these can lead to other ones. It's a good starting point to branch off into other animes for sure. So,
exactly. That's good. Well, hey, I mean, this ain't for. I mean, if you're new to anime space, you're probably not even watching this podcast. So, if you are, cool, welcome. But for those of you who do watch the podcast, who are very avid anime watchers, or even if you watch anime here and there, these genres, if you're interested in them, check out the recommendations we gave you. This is good. If you have any recommendations for us, please let us know as well because we're interested. We watch a lot of anime, but we haven't seen everything. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Anime Intervention. We out. Deuces.